Kenny gives Bobby Blaine a few energy pills of his. I see this in my rearview mirror.
You're really putting the finger on Kenny.
To think that I should be the one.
Now tell me, who succeeded you as Hilda's husband? I mean, direct succession.
Kurt Kenny. Hilda saw him win a tournament in Milan. And that night she locked me out of the house. Fini, we were through. You think I'm revengeful against Kurt Kenny?
Aren't you?
Yes, I am. I would tell any lie to hurt him.
Like now?
No. This time I'm telling the truth. The electric chair for Kurt Kenny. What a delicious possibility.
I found Blaine's buggy in a Trilex garage where it had been towed for repairs. I had to force the lock of the dashboard compartment. There was at least some truth to Pepe Zaretti's testimony. I found a small cardboard box. The box contained square white tablets, energy pills, presumably. It now looked like the late Bobby Blaine could have borrowed a few pills from Kenny. A few pills with one of them doctored with a deadly poison. That is, unless somebody hadn't planted the ones I'd just found to incriminate Kenny. Somebody like Pepe Zaretti. A nice trick, very easy to work. My client, the public relations man, Harry Benton, perspired freely over my temporary report.
If you prove Kurt Kenny guilty of the murder, what a blow to tennis.
What a blow to the J. Cretin Memorial Association, you mean?
Yes. The association originally discovered and sponsored both Kenny and Blaine. Both were identified with the association as protégés. The fund maintained them, paid their college bills, developed them as players.
Until Hilda Hobson took over the burden.
Well, you can't blame the fund.
Maybe not. But boys born to working-class families lose their sense of balance in a susceptible atmosphere. Too many of the expensive set making a fuss over them. I mean, if the boy's a winner. And only for so long as he continues to be a winner. Ask me. Big tennis could use a little more soul. However...
That's neither here nor there. Mr. Craig, the problem now is how to restrain the press.
Restrain the press from what?
From sensationalizing Kurt Kenny's arrest. I've got to get them to play it down in the interests of tennis.
You're being a little previous, Benton. Kenny hasn't been arrested. Nor is it sure he will be. I'm not fully convinced of his guilt.
Yes, but I am.
Only as a result of my report?
Your report and something I discovered last night.
What?
Kurt Kenny had money bet in his finals match with Blaine. Quite a sum of money. $5,000.
Looked like a pickup jury had already found Kenny guilty. Hilda Hobson, Harry Benton, and Pepe Zaretti. No vote there for Kenny's innocence. One vote for Kenny's innocence came along, however, out of left field. In the J. Cretin Memorial Club, exclusive for members only. A girl who looked as if she'd crashed, dressed in a plain business suit, no sequins in her hair, no expensive look. She caught me at the bar in the middle of a swallow.
Mr. Craig, I must talk to you.
Well, what about?
Kurt Kenny.
Your brother?
No, Kurt's just a good friend.
And you are?
Polly Blair.
Well, talk.
The infamous stories about Kurt, they're all lies. Kurt's fine and gentle. He couldn't hurt a fly.
Nice character reference, but how well do you know him?
As I know myself.
That's a pretty broad statement.
I know his true nature, his dreams, ambitions, his inner thoughts. You see, Kurt confides in me. I'm someone he can talk to, frankly and openly.
You sound like a sweetheart.
Kurt's a married man.
Well, husbands sometimes stray.
Don't please add to the infamy circulating about Kurt. Isn't it difficult enough for him?
It is.
Help Kurt. Believe in him, as I believe in him. The stories you hear that Kurt could poison. Lies. All horrible, godly lies.
Time, I figured, for a follow-up examination of Kurt Kenny. To get Kenny, I had to sit through a tennis match. I occupied my same seat in the grandstand box under the candy-striped awning. Same deal as before. A tall ice drink in my hand, compliments of Hilda Hobson. Hilda herself was loudly in evidence.
Aye, but Kurt is sharp today.
Yeah, going great. Service aces, passing shots, drop shots, right on his game. Like he didn't have a care in the world.
Kurt, without a care in the world.
You know better, huh?
Oh, I live with the man. Been drinking like a fish. Up all night with insomnia. Why, he hasn't had a bite of food for days. He's playing on sheer nerves.
Oh, that's tough. Booze, insomnia, starvation. So when does he begin being homeless, Hilda?
Homeless?
You're giving him the boot, I remember you saying. Or was there a change of heart since?
There hasn't been. I want especially to be fancy-free for the eliminations this summer in Rome. Besides, I've got more reasons than ever to send Kurt packing.
Meaning Kenny's fatal match with Bobby Blaine of the other day?
You want to bandy words.
Suppose you spell it out.
Kurt poisoned Bobby Blaine.
You have proof?
Oh, you're the detective. I'm just an intuitive wife.
And your intuition convinces you, huh?
Beyond a doubt. It's all over, Kurt. Guilt. Every minute with me. Even his manner and look. Guilt.
I see. Well, the set's over.
Kurt won at 6-2. That evens the match.
Third set coming up. This is where it began, Hilda.
It began?
That other day, the fatal day. Time out before the third set, remember? Kenny and Blaine just where Kenny and Corbett are now. Under the referee's stand, sponging off, gulping salt tablets and energy pills. And 2 minutes later, Blaine fell dead.
Poor Bobby Blaine.
Yeah, weep for the dead. Tell me something, Hilda.
Tell you what?
Womanly intuition. You remarked on it before. How about manly intuition? Is there any such thing?
Do you suffer from sunstroke?
No, from shock.
Shock?
The shock of maybe soon seeing Kurt Kenny swallow an energy pill, then move over to the baseline to open service and fall down dead. Will he, Hilda? What does your intuition tell you?
You are suffering from sunstroke.
You evaded answering, and now I'm really shocked. Excuse my rush, lady. I've got to get out on the field and save a life. I was on the field in time to prevent Kenny from swallowing a white pill, salt or energy. I had to wrestle him out of his hand. Now, come on, give them up, Sonny.
Have you gone insane,
Maybe I have. A cop goes intuitive. He could be shaping up for a psychiatric ward.
But intuitive? Well, what's your idea about these pills?
I see you're getting kind of intuitive yourself. I want these pills sent to the police chemical lab for testing. If they're okay, call me impulsive. If they contain poison, call Hilda Hobson, Madam Bluebeard. Chemical lab's verdict on the pills was poison, deadly poison. I had another chat with Kurt Kenny later that evening. I found him shocked into honesty.
Sure, I bet on myself every penny I could raise. I was so sure I could beat Bobby Blaine. You see, I needed money. My own money. I had a plan for myself.
A plan to cut loose from Madame Svengali, Hilda Hobson, that is.
Yeah, be on my own. Be a man for a change.
Divorced from Hilda and married to Polly Blair.
Yes.
Hilda then knew you were walking out.
Hilda knew. Suppose her pride was hurt.
Her homicidal instincts were aroused. The fatal tablet Blaine swallowed was meant for you. You'd innocently passed it on to Blaine that morning you gave him an automobile lift.
The morning Blaine had left his tablets in a stranded car. Poor Blaine.
You were supposed to duplicate Blaine's death fall today. Swallow a doctored tablet Hilda had sneaked into your pillbox.
How could Hilda ever expect to get away with it? Plain murder.
You die and be pronounced a suicide from remorse. Remorse for murdering Blaine. Hilda had her out, she thought.
Craig, I owe you.
You owe Polly Blair. If Polly hadn't tipped me to your romance with her, I'd never have gotten an insight into Hilda Hobson. You see, I thought Hilda was giving you the contemptuous toss. I never dreamed that Hilda was a woman scorned. I had a few parting words with Hilda Hobson in police headquarters, watching her get mugged and fingerprinted.
Kurt was leaving me. Leaving me, Hilda Hobson, for a cheap little gammon.
For a girl he could have equality with.
I suddenly saw myself as old and unwanted. Unwanted.
Very moving scene, Hilda. Normally I'm a softy for tragic emotion. But right now, for the life of me, I can't get an idiotic jingle out of my head.
Idiotic jingle? What?
I'll say it, but don't hate me. Tennis, anyone?
You have been listening to William Gargan in another exciting transcribed mystery drama from the adventures of Barrie Craig, confidential investigator. Tonight's story, Two Dead Men, was written by John Robert. The National Broadcasting Company has just brought you an NBC Radio Network production with William Gargan starring as Barrie Craig, confidential investigator, directed by Andrew C. Love. Our cast included Virginia Gregg, Herb Ellis, George Neese, and Tony Barrett. Hear Bill Henry and the news on most NBC radio stations.
Welcome back. Well, not the greatest line to end the list of existing episodes, but of course there was actually one episode after that, from June 30th of 1955, The Man Who Didn't Get Them Wholesale. And of course, the episode before this, which is also lost, was Brainwashed. You know, there were quite a few episodes of Barrie Craig done, and so many that are missing. This is one series I'm hopeful eventually we'll see some more episodes emerge. Because there were 192 episodes done, and we have 59 in circulation. So I'm hopeful that we'll see some of those other 133 episodes come into circulation. We can share them with you. And of course, I mentioned this before, but now as we're ending the series, it's important to remember how William Gargan ended his career. He kind of semi-retired after the show ended, and he did a remake of Martin Caine, which was made for international audiences. 1960 ended up playing in a former president of the United States that was dying, and his performance was very realistic because, unknown to him, he had cancer, and it was cancer of the larynx, which totally obliterated the marvelous voice he had when he had to have his larynx removed to save his life. And, you know, it was a very scary thing, dealt with a lot of bitterness and fear, but he came out of it and then managed to spend the rest of his life helping others through the Cancer Society, where it was a big fundraiser, and also helping people deal with their fears as they were going through similar surgeries, and educating the public, including advising against smoking. He was an absolutely incredible person, in addition to being just a wonderful actor. And it's been a pleasure to bring to you these last 59 weeks of Barrie Craig. And before that, 3 weeks of Had Deal